Hello, today we are going to talk about the application KDAB GammaRay and how we can use it in order to inspect the widgets layout of a Qt 5 application, in order to inspect QML, in order to inspect metadata that exists inside of a Qt application, such as enums, slots, etc. And some of these can also be edited, not just viewed. So this is the application Qt KDAB GammaRay. Okay, KDAB is a company that does Qt, C++, OpenGL, etc. training, applications, and consulting, etc. So this is KDAB. Is one of the major contributors to Qt, the framework, and to KDE, the community. And one of their products is GammaRay with a trademark. Examine and manipulate the internals of Qt applications at runtime. In software introspection tool for Qt applications, leveraging the QObject introspection mechanism. Okay, and is a graphical user interface that shows a ton of data, such as all of the other similar GUI inspectors. So in Windows there was Spy++, which is this thing. Right. In GTK, there's in GTK 4 and 3, there's the GtkInspector. So the GtkInspector can be the debugger is in the so can be available in applications by using the shortcuts Ctrl+Shift+D or Ctrl+Shift+I. In my case, I'm on Ubuntu 22.04. This doesn't work out of the box. So if I start, for instance, Word Manager, let's see if it's a GTK 3 or 4 application. I go ls off, list of open files. Okay. So I go lsl grep, what's the name, weird manager. Weird mana. Okay, so let's look at the SO files, the dynamic libraries that it has loaded inside of the virtual manager process. So there's GObject2, doesn't say much, glib2 doesn't say much. So it says GTK3 modules, libcolored GTK module. libgdk3, libATK3, libgtk3. So I say that this is a GTK3 application, so it has the possibility of having the inspector available. So let's go Ctrl-Shift-D, nothing. Select the widget, Ctrl-Shift-I, nothing. But then I'm not exactly sure if it's always available by default. And run in the terminal gsettings set this thing, or there's the possibility of going GTK debug, the environment variable, setting its value to interactive, and then we start Word Manager. So let's do that. Okay, so this is the application, this is the GtkInspector. Let's open a new window. Okay, it appears as a GTK about dialog. Ctrl-Shift-I. How do I select things? I want to select this Daniel P. Béranger. Okay, so it says it's a GTK label. All of the information it can find about that GTK object and that G object. So it does cursors and SPNG files. It does 16 by 16 icons with extension PNG, 22 by 22 icons. OpenGL, GL, ES, resources. The UI is styled using CSS, so you can make, labels bolder or change the fonts or change background color. GTK theme. Don't I need to save anything? No. Okay. So it gathers as much information as possible about the running application, about the widget controls that exist on that graphical user interface. So it has environment variables, versions of OpenGL extensions. But the most important thing is usually to select one GUI control and inspect it, and maybe also edit it if possible. Okay. And we can inspect the relationship of parent, which is container, and child, which is in a child-parent relationship with this container. Okay. So in the case of GIMP, that does not work on my Kubuntu 2204 because GIMP is a GTK2 application. But then how do we do an equivalent to SPY++ in Windows and to GtkInspector for Qt applications? So I know of one way of doing it, which is using GammaRay, but we need to use a GammaRay which is specific to our Qt application, to our Qt version. So the KDE or Qt application with graphical user interface that we run must use the same Qt as GammaRay, the application GammaRay. Okay. So there's documentation about GammaRay. We have its GitHub Git repository, and we have YouTube videos about it. So we have the organization KDAB has a YouTube channel, and in there we have, for instance, playlists about GammaRay. So this is GammaRay tutorials, 9 videos. Make sure to see all of these tutorials if you want to develop for KDE. Okay, let's see if we can start it in action. So we go cd. So I have built my own Qt because I want to build my own KDE applications, and I want to build my own GammaRay such that all three are aligned. GammaRay uses the same Qt as the KDE applications. I'm loading inside my bash these environment variables, and now path environment variable has the directory where I installed my own Qt first, then the directory where I installed my KDE applications second. So let's start GammaRay. Okay, so this is it. Let's inspect a simple application, which I don't know exactly what I have available. So let's look. It's in tilde/kde/src, so this is kdesrc-build /usr bin. What do we have in here? Let's go with the same kcalc. Simple application. So this is a Qt widgets application, not a Qt QML application, Qt Quick application. So it GammaRay allows me to attach to a running process, and the first process in this list is kcalc, which says probe available yes. So it doesn't say exactly the Qt version, so Qt version is 5.15.4, the Qt version that I built, and the version that's available in Ubuntu packages is not that, is an older one, which is 5.15.3. So it's 5.15.3, the version of Qt from KDAB packages from Ubuntu 22.04, and my version is 5.15.4, the one that I compiled locally. So we can connect to some processes using GammaRay, again, if it uses the same Qt version, which is the case with KCalc, because both GammaRay and KCalc were built with my own 5.15.4 version of Qt. So let's connect. Attach. So again, a huge graphical user interface application. Objects is about QObject. There's widgets, which shows the a sort of WYSIWYG version of the what you see is what you get of the graphical user interface. And we have a tree of objects. So we can say select the button with the uppercase C. Okay, so this GUI control, Qt control, is named PB clear, is of type KCalc button. Let's see if we can edit it. So again, GammaRay allows you to inspect, so to read properties of objects, etc. But for some actions where it allows read, it also allows the write operation. So where's the text? C in the column value. So it says text C. Let's see if we can edit it to be the new C. Okay, so we see our change written back to the graphical user interface app that's inspected by GammaRay. And in the title bar of the inspect application, it says injected by GammaRay. And how GammaRay works is that it injects inside of the inspected process a thing which is called the GammaRay probe. Oh, not that. So GammaRay consists of two parts, the client and the probe. The client is the GUI, which is this, and the probe Okay, the probe interacts very closely with the Qt application it analyzes using a number of internal APIs of Qt. this makes it necessary that a prod is built exactly for your Qt version. So not just the Qt version, but 32 versus 64-bit compiler version, which is the default compiler that's available in Ubuntu 22.04, compiler settings, etc. Qt configuration if it's built for, in my case it's similar to release with debug symbols. Okay. So let's see what else is available in GammaRay, the client. Okay, so the probe runs as part of the kcalc process, and then the GammaRay process is the so-called client. Okay, let's see what else we can edit in here. Make it not visible, so it disappeared. Make it visible again, the See New button appears. Okay. So things which are introspectable and using Qt mechanisms, such as QObject and the mock compiler. Some of these are also editable at runtime. Let's look at styles. So we have the theme that we currently use. So for checkboxes, we have these things. So checkbox on is transparent and has a blue and a black checkbox. There's theming for spin boxes, standard icons, color palettes, signal slot. So we want for the See New button, let's inspect. So back widgets, select the See New button. We have already selected. So we go right click on the selected Qt widget and we go to the widgets tool. We're already here. So these are called tools, are kind of like tabs if the application would use a tab bar. Okay, so let's go to the objects tool. It's this tool, objects. It shows the child-parent relationship. Let's go to the meta objects tool. So kcalc is a type, which kcalc button is a type which is defined in our kcalc git repo, and it inherits from qpush button, which inherits from qabstract button, which inherits from qwidget. And we have counts, so 22 kcalc buttons in button instances. Methods. So we have slots, we have methods, we have signals. We know from which type the method comes from. So from kcalc button we have just two methods, which is the slot slot set XL display model and slot set mode. Okay. So back to PB clear, show in signals tool. So it says two signals were triggered when I clicked on see new on the button clear. No right click event. We have Qt tooltip, which is this tooltip clear. What else do we have? What's this action? We don't have what's this action on for the button clear. So again, let's click it and let's pause. What are these two? Zoom level. So there's the, for PB clear, it's pressed, and following pressed, there's released. So pressed and released. Let's see if we can navigate to the button and press, I don't know, space. Let's resume and go space. So the same pair of pressed and released. Okay. Text codecs being text encodings, I'm going to guess. We have timers. The Qt tooltip label timer. Translations. I don't know what this is. No way land system. So it takes the correct Qt from the correct place. Okay. The Qt version is correct, 5.15.4. Ubuntu 22.04. We can inspect paths, environment variables. Okay. So this was the signal tool, the tool that shows in real time what signals are raised, resources or triggered. What do we have in here? So for the Qt resource bundling mechanism, Mac style. So the kcalc UI, about KDE SVG. kcalc sign constants, high color index theme, problems. Start scan for problems. Where is the back button? Parameter type not registered with a meta type system. Kcalc const button. Kcalc const button. How do we navigate code? Okay. Problems. It would be interesting to fix some of these issues to make the Kcalc application more standards compliant with the Qt latest and greatest guidelines. Network, we don't have such a thing. No network operations. Models. So QAbstract item model, QEmpty item model. This is inside of the Qt source code. Okay, MIME types, meta types. Meta objects. QThread, QTimer. Messages. This looks like the std out, stdr of the process. Locales available. Fonts. Events. So this action seems to be pretty intensive. logging the events. Okay, so now that we know, so apart from this, if you are going to watch the YouTube series from the KDAB organization about GammaRay, you will see that additionally GammaRay can inspect QML layouts and state machines and other types of resources that I did not show today. So let's see how far can we get in building from scratch our GammaRay application. So for that we need to go to the GitHub page. So it's called KDAB GammaRay inside of github.com. Let's look at its README file. So shows information for both QWidget and Qt 2 QML applications, state machines, graphics view, JavaScript debugger for the QScript engine, for QWeb pages, HTML, CSS, DOM.js, introspection, editing, profiling, QWebInspector. Okay, installation notes. Building GammaRay. How do we build it? So it depends on another Git repo from KDAB, which is KDE State Machine Editor. So let's build and install this dependency first. So I've already done it. I've already shown the running applications. Now let's back up a bit. So we create a new tab inside of console and let's look at the way it's set up, the Git repos on my machine. So I have a directory called tila/kd/misc where I have the git checkout of git clone of GammaRay and the git clone of KDE State Machine Editor. So let's move them out of the way. Okay, I don't need this. Okay, so now I don't have the git clone of this repo, KDAB KDE State Machine Editor. Let's see how we build it. So we need to install some packages for my distribution, which is Ubuntu 22.04. I've already installed all of the dependencies, and I don't really need to install Qt 5 from dev packages because I've installed it from source using kdesrc-build. Okay, so it says to use a subdirectory called build. Okay, makes sense. So let's get the let's git clone the repo. Git clone, Ctrl+Shift+V, enter, change directory, and then it says make dir build and cd build. I can do that. Okay, and then I need to go cmake and instruct it to use the parent directory, which is not enough because we're using a special Qt built by me. So we need to set the environment in order for cmake to pick the correct Qt version. So for that we have the file this build file. Okay, so we did make dir and cd. Now we need to set all of these environment variables. Okay, and we run cmake with the parent directory. Ctrl-Shift-V. So it said following recommended have been found, following required have been found. No internal build of graph viz. So cmake has found all of the dependencies. It has created what was instructed, which is Unix makefiles. And now we can build. Ctrl-Shift-V. So I'm using nproc executable process in order to find out the count of CPU cores that I have. Okay, so success, make, which is make build, right? So building was successful. Now let's install. So it installs into the correct place, which is tilde/kd/usr. Okay, so we did the dependency kd state machine editor. Now let's look at building GammaRay. So we need to change to the parent directory. Let's git clone in here. Okay, change into GammaRay directory. How do we build this thing? So it uses cmake, which is okay. We will pass it our default installation directory, our own installation directory. Okay, so we should have cmake 3.16, C++ 11 support, Qt 5.5, and we build it with the usual steps, which is make dir build, cd build, cmake with the parent directory, make and make install. So I'm guessing the same instructions should work for GammaRay too. So let's go for making. Where are you? Okay. We made a directory, we changed into it the build directory where cmake and building happens. Paste. So we run cmake, which is equivalent to the ./configure step for GNU tools built Git repos and projects. So let's see what it says. So it says The following recommended have been found: Qt 5 concurrent, KF5 syntax highlighting, kdesme, KDAB state machine editor, pod to man page generator, Qt. The following features have been disabled. Looks really okay. Optional packages, Qt 5 web, engine widgets. So not found Qt 5 Android Extra, Sprint support, IV, VTK. So this is highly experimental. The way CMake has configured the build looks okay. Let's try to build. Ctrl Shift B, Ctrl Shift V. So I use this shortcut Ctrl Shift V for pasting. Ctrl C would not copy inside of console. It would kill the current process. That's why Ctrl Shift C is the shortcut for copying the selected text to clipboard. Okay, again, so this was about KDAB GammaRay, which is an application which allows deep introspection of running Qt applications. It knows how to inspect signals and slots, Qt meta object, parent-child relationship of Qt objects, UI layouts for Qt widgets and QML, state machines, Qt web engine, HTML, pages, timers, I don't know, Qt style types such as types derived from Qt types, styles, themes, Qt resources, etc., etc. So this is the app to have if you want to be serious about developing. You need to have a GammaRay compiled for exactly the same Qt that you use for developing for KDE, which is our goal in here, to be able to develop for the KDE community and project. Okay, so build step was successful. Make install, copy, Ctrl Shift V. So it installed in the correct place, which is tilde/kd/usr. Let's start it. Let's make sure it uses the correct files. Okay, so it says it uses libgammaray SOs from the correct directory. It uses the correct Qt. uses the correct translations, the correct breeze, the correct KDE frameworks version 5 SO files, the correct QPA for Qt, so it looks okay. And GammaRay has 3 ways of attaching to an application, which is to attach to an already running application, the thing that we did with kcalc. Then you can launch an executable, and you can connect, which is inspect a process that runs on another machine. So this is really useful for embedded, for connecting via SSH to a container or a virtual machine or a embedded hardware device. Okay. I don't know how to start a process. Let's see if like this it works. So inside tilde/kd/usr bin kcalc. This guy, open. I'm not sure if the correct kcalc will start or with the correct environment, because this entire environment is needed in order for the correct kcalc to start with the correct dependencies, themes, settings, etc. So here goes nothing. Okay. It doesn't say kcalc injected by GammaRay. Okay, so this was all I know about KDAB GammaRay. Really must-have application for developing for Qt and KDE. Thank you very much.